Hi, I'm John Peltier, your resident expert on Excel charts, and I'm going to talk to you about nice bar chart data labels. What are nice data labels? Nice labels, first they're nice looking, but they're also legible and informative. This chart illustrates a nice configuration for horizontal bar chart labels. These labels combine the category labels, which are usually located along the left edge of the chart, and the value data labels, which are often placed beyond the end of the bars. They're also nicely aligned right above the corresponding bars. These labels are not hard to do in Excel. Stay tuned and I'll show you how. Let's start with this data. Note that the data is repeated in adjacent columns labeled blank and data. They'll both be plotted, giving us side-by-side bars in the chart. Ultimately, the blank series bars will be hidden and the data labels will be placed on these hidden bars. Select the data and create a bar chart. Go to Insert, find the bar chart. We want the horizontal 2D bar chart. Click. Let's line it up nicely. If you hold the Alt key down while you drag the chart, it will align itself with the cell boundaries as you move it. The first thing we need to do is format the vertical axis. Note that the axis categories are in reverse order from the way they are in the worksheet. Let's select the axis, press Ctrl+1 to open up the Format Axis task pane, and find the box for categories in reverse order. Check it. Now they're in the right order. Since the data labels will have those category names, we don't need to show them in the chart. So let's go to Labels and scroll down for Label Position and change from Next to Axis to None. They go away. We also don't need the axis line to appear. So click the paint can and under Line, select No Line. Now let's hide some unneeded chart elements. We don't need the axis labels on the top of the chart because we're going to have data labels on the points. So let's select that. We don't need to press Ctrl+1 because Format Axis is already showing. So let's click on the Axis Options button and click on Labels, and again, instead of Next to Axis, select None. Select the grid lines, which we don't need, and press Delete, and select the legend and press Delete. Now we need to adjust the spacing of the bars. Select either series. You don't need to press Ctrl+1 because the task pane is here. Click on Series Options, and we're going to change our gap width, which is the gap between adjacent clusters of bars. We're going to change that to 100, and we're going to change our series overlap to -20%. A negative number here puts a small gap in between the bars instead of having them overlap, and you see there's a small gap. Later, after the chart is done and it's labeled, you may want to adjust these to adjust the spacing in your chart, but these are good settings to use for now. Let's now apply series fill colors. Select the blank series and click on the paint can, and for fill we're going to say no fill. So the bars don't appear, but we're going to put our labels in the bars. And then for the data column, pick the color that you want your bars to be. Instead of the orange, I'm going to use a medium gray for my bars. We're going to add data labels to the hidden blank series. So click on the series, and if somehow you can't click on the series, click on a visible series and use Control and the down key to go back to the previous series, and that's selected. Click on this little skittle here for chart elements, and where it says data labels, what we're going to do is select more options. And now we have our data labels task pane showing, and we'll click on the label options button, and then under label options, value is already checked, which is good. Let's click category name, and we'll uncheck show leader lines. Let's pick a nice number format for those numbers. We don't want to show all those digits for millions. So what we'll do is we'll create our own format code. And to show millions, I'll go 0.0 and then comma, comma. Each comma reduces the number of digits by 3. So the first one changes units to thousands and the next one to millions. Now a space and a \M, if I just typed an M, it would think I meant minutes and I was trying to do time. That's not right. But if you do \, it says this is just text. So that's going to be my, and if we want a $, we can put a $sign in front of that. And I'll say add, and that's the number format I want. I don't want to use a comma separator. I want to use a pipe character. So I'll select what's in the separator box, and you actually have a few choices here, but I just want to change that to a pipe character. Enter, and you see now I have my pipe character. We need to put the labels over on the left edge of the chart, which means we put them in the inside base position. We have to adjust the text boxes. Let's click on text options, and we'll click on the text box. And the first thing we want to do is not wrap the text in the shape. And now these labels are a little bit further to the right than I want. Change left margin to 0. There's my labels nicely aligned above the bars that they represent. The last thing to do is to select my chart title and put a meaningful chart title there. I want to use the text in cell B2, so I'm going to just select the label, click in the formula bar, type equals, and select the cell that contains the text I want. Here's my chart title the way I want it to look, and now I'm going to drag it over to the left. If you hold the shift key while you drag it, it will go exactly horizontally, and that looks about right. And here's my chart. The only thing you might want to do is click on them and make them a little bit larger so they're easier to read. That wasn't very hard, was it? And it only took a minute or two.